Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a little special 12 noon video that was taken over the space of 2 or 3 days as we were getting the 12 noon reports. It's quite a special one because it gave me quite an interesting Kriegsspiel problem that we have to solve, and I had to make executive decisions along the way, and also maybe play against my own feelings as well, for the benefit of everyone in the game. So yeah, watch the video in full. Tell me what you think, and what would you do in this particular situation? I'd like to know in the comments. Yeah, enjoy. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to me, Dave Pumphouse, and IKS D-Day. It's the 13th of August. We've been playing this game since the 6th of June. It's 12 noon. Let's talk about what we've learned from the 50th and the 51st that have got back to us first. Will be a two-part of this video, I'm sure. 152nd. He actually did bombard Sartilli, and apparently it's now ruins. But it's been taken. I wish they wouldn't have destroyed Sartilli. I'm gonna have to go to Google or something and maybe get some shots of beautiful Sartilli and its city centre that apparently is now going to be ruins. And I wish he wouldn't have bombarded Sartilli. I'm sure it's a lovely little village. But anyway, 152nd has taken it. He's likely extended his line along here because he says that some enemies have retreated to La Barbarie and are up near the Kern de whatever, the Kern de Le Kramer, or whatever it is. So there's like 2 companies up there, I think. And yeah, so for the next couple of hours he's going to be securing his end of day objective, digging in these woods, maybe sticking some AT guns and whatever. He can have fun with that, and then we'll salute him. I think his game is likely over. $153rd. He's taken his men, we hope not all of them, down to La Haye de, the Haye de Penel. So they're going to be digging in these woods and across this river, by the looks of things. Maybe like with a couple of artillery and maybe some companies just overlooking anything that's coming to the south. But we would really like him to maybe extend and take a couple of brigades to Ville du Les Poilets for his end of day objective. Now this is where it gets interesting, because 154th reports that it has encountered enemy, and the report said near Serenice. So whereas we had him on the previous video, he said he was marching to Gavray, we had him like that. We've had to adjust him and maybe think, okay, near Serenice, so he's either got an enemy across this river like that, or maybe, I mean, if he said he was at Ver, then he would say he was at Ver, but for now I'm going to think he's like that, because he says he was on his way to Gavray. But haven't encountered enemy at Serenice. I mean, let's try and work this out. Maybe if he's coming through this way, maybe he has encountered people like that. I'm not quite sure. Maybe like that. We'll point. We'll keep him like that. Yeah, sure. So he's probably like that. Now, this is the importance of what I call lateral communication, because he's got the 231st Brigade that has crossed at Serenice and has made it to this crossroads here. Ligroni? I think that's Ligroni. But obviously they've left some guys in the region of Serenice, so a little bit of cross communication. Talk to the guy next to you. Coordinate. Division commanders said that they were doing it, but maybe they've missed something. Maybe there's some crazy company or two hanging on. But that's where they're up to. Monco is a bit of an enigma as well, because you remember we were told that that was taken. Apparently it's not taken anymore, or at least I don't think it is, because I've just been told that the 151st has crossed at Hyenville, are making their way east, chasing an unknown enemy. Don't think they've got this far yet. They're probably at these crossroads or something like that, but for the purpose of size, we're doing it this way. He's taking the tanks and some engineers all the way up to Crécy-la-Salle. Obviously, last video I mentioned that these tanks will want to race up to Crécy. I called it Carissy in the previous video. My mistake. Maybe they can peel off and go up to Belval and maybe go that way. Yeah, maybe we might direct them that way. Belval, Savigny, Carantilli, Crécy. So it doesn't have to get bogged down in this thing. This thing is going to worry me. That looks like some real tough ground. You know, Montpinchon. Look how steep that is. You wouldn't want to try and capture that. No, sir. Anyway, yeah, so they're heading to Crécy-la-Salle, chasing some unknown strength enemy east. I mean, he did say it was 1 battalion. So, yeah, there's probably some dudes this way. Now, for those of you that have spotted, 69th. He says he's left a company at Hyenville because they're pretty much exhausted. I was like, right, fair enough. But Division Command says he's headed up to Coutances. I was like, okay, fair enough. And yeah, fair enough. This orange arrow does say that they need to reach Coutances by lunchtime. Yeah, that's my planning. Yeah, I expected a little bit more resistance and a little bit of a slower pace, so he technically is following orders, but we did tell them that Coutances was taken at 9. It's now 12. He doesn't really need to go up there, or if he does, I'd rather he just send a battalion up there just to kind of clear whatever's in the way and get moving. But obviously no one's going to Gambry. No one's going to be heading to Roncy. they've got in a bit of a pickle. It has to be noted. So we're going to have to try and correct that. I wonder what happened down here at Monco. They crossed and then they didn't, and then they did. No idea. No idea. We haven't heard from 7th Armoured or 3rd Division yet, but we'll mention where we're headed. Things get stranger and more tough because a couple of videos ago now, we said that the Canadians, you can land. We want you to start landing at half 11. At 11. Get on the beach by 11. Canadians have come back in the affirmative and said, yep, we're doing that. Plan was to get these tanks on first. Get a battalion, hitching a ride on the tanks, send them over to Maringi / Le Riviere. The Canadian division has turned around and said there isn't enough LCTs to get the tanks onto the beach. I suppose they're probably still in use by 7th Armoured. This is why we originally set the landing time for the Canadians at 12. Yeah, so we did have a word with 7 Armoured about 2 hours ago now, asking where their division assets were with regards to artillery. He did say that they hadn't landed quite just yet, and I suppose as the tides come in and out, some LSTs get stranded, get beached. So yeah, the umpires are probably making account of that. But yeah, they're all landing at Lance A as expected, but the 9th and the 7th are going to be landing first, clogging up the road, whilst the 8th and the tanks are going to be landing in second. So I suppose we can say that the tanks aren't going to be landing until about 1 o'clock. So that's going to be a slight delay there for the Canadians. Nothing we can do about that. Nothing we can do. Just going to have to ride it out. Myself and Rennie over here, because I'm keeping him on a bit of a tight leash, we were headed up to the site because we still don't really have a grasp of what 185th is doing. We were going to go up to the site and then I was going to follow this path down, try and link up with 9th. So we were waiting to see what's happened with that. Nothing back from the umpires yet, and we've been asked to do an after action report, which I'm already at 4,450 words. So yeah, but over this weekend I'm sure 7th Armoured and 3rd will come back with their reports. I'm going to put my money that 8th Brigade has probably taken the Hay de Putes already. I hope he hasn't moved off too much. If he has, I hope he hasn't decided to go on to his afternoon objectives already. I want to maybe make 8th sit there for a while and have a nice lunch. But yeah, 185th is definitely a bit troublesome at the moment, not knowing what he's up to. So, we've just had our report. We've moved. We've followed this brown line, taking the road up to Lassay, having a quick swing by. We'll go to that in a minute. Down this road. We've ended up just west of the Tringal. We've bumped in to Staffordshire Yeomanry, as well as some of the Scottish borderers, as well as a block of anti-tank guns that are up against some elements of what I could make out of the 5th Fallschirmjäger Regiment. A pioneer company as well as an infantry company. The Stokey commander in charge of the yeomanry says that it's too dangerous for me to be this far forward. I said, I'm quite fine, thank you. I'll attach myself to his command as an observer for now. And then hopefully next turn we'll be rolling into Perrier, as I'm sure the 9th Brigade commander is coming up this road. He's probably just to the east of us, probably around Le Moliniere, I should think. But yeah, we'll be heading in to Perrier pretty soon, I'm sure. We were expecting Rennie, the 3rd Division commander, to come with us, but the umpire said he didn't order his piece to move. I've been given that information as an absolute delight to myself. So he didn't move, even though he put his thumbs up and said he was going. Equally, something that didn't move, we were worried about this, as he was quiet. So, yeah, I like to think no news is good news, but sometimes you just get a feeling. You think, is he in control of this brigade, or is he moving or not? Anyway, so how we played this out is that we swung by to say just to see what was there. We had a hunch, we had a feeling. Apparently there's elements of this brigade still up in the Say. And down here in the map, I'm sure you can make out that there is also some elements that we left at Eventard. I've been told by the umpire that due to the 185th Brigade commander being a replacement, I should be nice. I told him I'm always nice. I'm always nice. I always give people a chance. So we've sent 185th a message again with orders for him to move to his phase 2 objective, to Jorez via Lolne, and that he is currently 3 hours behind schedule, whereas the 8th and maybe even the 9th have well, the 9th is just about to reach their objective. I'm sure the 8th has done so already. 185th just hasn't moved. So we've given him his orders. Hopefully he'll acknowledge them and come back to us. If he doesn't, I'm going to be tearing my hair out. I might have to go up there and lead him my bloody self at this rate. But yeah, that's what's going on with 3rd. If we get to 9th, yeah, if we get here, I mean, 8th is all the way up there. There's no way. I've just about had enough of 3rd, to be honest. I think once we get to Perrier, we're going to promote Chimpy. We're going to go, right, mate, at least you can be reliable. And we're going to relieve Rennie. And we're going to make... You bet your ass I am. I'm making an executive decision now. 3rd Division clearly doesn't have a grip. It's a shame, but I need. I mean, 3rd was such a big part of the operation. We've still got, you know, 185th have also been asked to send their tanks down to Perrier as well as ordered. We can't guarantee that they've been asked to do it. So I need a reliable division commander, and unfortunately this guy isn't it currently. So sorry, my dude, but 3rd hasn't really been acting as it should. It had a vital piece to play. What a shame. So, part 3 of Noon, D-Day. As you'll be aware, it's not been a game without some of its communicational problems, but that's the nature of Kriegsspiel. And, you know, the reason why we play these types of games is, you know, to learn something about ourselves and apply lessons learned. Now, I've been probably a bit too harsh on 3rd Division Commander, and I had to play the role of mediator, shall we say. And as I've explained to these division commanders, shit rolls downhill. I have been told by Sergei. I mean, Sergei's a hard taskmaster, it seems, being in command of the army. But we've had to maybe be the voice of reason. So Dempsey, played by Sergei, of course, has said, you know what, the lack of information coming from 3rd I don't like. Can we replace him? And I said, well, you know what, I've done a quick assessment, right? Maybe, just maybe, 3rd aren't as bad as we think, because we know that 8th Brigade is probably up at the Hay Deputes. We haven't heard from him in a while. Stuff hasn't filtered through. Fine. 185th got itself in a little bit of a pickle, but it's only 12 noon, and we gave these guys until 2 PM to reach their punchy lunch objectives. Now, 9th will certainly reach it. 8th, I'm pretty sure, has already reached it. And you know what? If 185th started now, it would probably get there by 2:30, 3. So it would only be half an hour to an hour off target, which isn't so bad on the whole of things. Still got the rest of the afternoon to get where up to Le Motier. Let's give him a chance. So I basically fought 3rd Division's corner again, and I laid it on myself. I said, okay, well, yeah, maybe some of my orders have been unclear. I don't think they've been unclear, but this is the nature of Kriegsspiel. Yeah, you're in command, but you're not necessarily in control. Most of these arrows, most of the players would have seen that you know, they know their avenues of advance. Really, we just try to encourage them to stick to them, and most of them, as you can see, have. I mean, they're all doing as intended for the most part. Some are just a little bit behind. Yeah, and as the leader of the corps, until it's found out where the communication problems were, the responsibility, as I said to Sergei, you know, lays on my head. Now, as a whole, I don't think we're doing so badly. You know, there's a few things that, you know, we could tighten up, and I'm sure if we were all classically trained officers in whatever military, we'd probably be a little bit better at this. But as you can see, most of the Corps is doing as intended. You know, we've just maybe moaned a little bit too much, and maybe a little bit unfairly about 3rd Division. You know, we have to be kind. But yeah. So that's that, and you can check out what I was saying to Sergey in the Corps Command chat with the Army Commander at the time as well, for future reference. Anyone watching this as well. So yeah, I've had to stick up. You know, criticism where it's due, but like I said, until we find out at the end of the game where things went wrong, and there's still plenty of time to make things right. That's the most important thing. The responsibility falls on me. So there you go. See you on the next one, ladies and gents. Take it easy.